In today's video, we'll be reviewing how to use ClickUp Chrome extension. It can become a pretty powerful add-on to the way you use your ClickUp workspace. So in this video, I'll be breaking down how to use it and how to set it up for your ClickUp account. Let's get started. All right, so in order for us to start using ClickUp Chrome extension, first thing, we need to install it. So let me quickly show you, and you might already have this inside your Chrome browser. If not, just navigate to your browser, open a new tab, type in ClickUp Chrome extension, click on this website, which is going to be one of the first websites you will see from clickup.com. You can also find it in the Chrome Web Store. I can just type in ClickUp and it's going to be there. And then when you click that website, it's going to say install Chrome extension. As soon as you do that, that Chrome extension is going to appear at the top right corner on the extension pop-up window inside your Chrome browser. Now, it's as simple as that. Before you start using it, you might want to pin that specific add-on, ClickUp add-on, inside your browser by just clicking a pin button here. When you download that extension, it's not pinned. When you pin it, it just saves you one click, so you can click directly to your ClickUp add-on instead of going to extensions and then clicking on your ClickUp. All right, so it's as simple as that. Now we have our ClickUp Chrome extension installed, so let's review what can we do with it. So I'm gonna go back to my ClickUp account. Again, no matter what page you have open, it's gonna work everywhere. The only difference is on the clickup.com website, it's not gonna show you a little icon of the ClickUp somewhere floating here on your screen. So for example, over here, you don't see that icon. When I go to my Gmail, I can see on the right-hand side of my screen a little icon of ClickUp. So it's essentially the same thing that you see here at the top right corner, but it just helps you with a couple of quick actions for creating tasks, tracking time, taking screenshots, and it also helps you bookmark this page. Now I'm going to show you all of these details in just a second. But first, before we do this, let's click, again, ClickUp extensions, whether you're clicking it from here or from this button over here. And the first thing that we see in the ClickUp extension is actually selecting your workspace. Now, you might have multiple workspaces. Some of them are free, some of them are paid. So make sure that you select the right workspace before completing or doing any actions inside the Chrome extension. You might just save things into the wrong account. This is the worst thing really that can happen with this Chrome extension. Now, the first thing over here is going to be our settings. Settings are pretty straightforward. I'm going to walk you through each of these options just so you understand which ones you might want to check or uncheck. So the first is the floating buttons. This is exactly what I showed you here. So if I close this window over here, you can see the ClickUp floating button here. If you uncheck that checkbox in the setting, that floating button is going to disappear from all the websites. Now, you can also make it disappear for a specific domain. So let's say you don't want that button to appear on your mail.google.com domain, so you can uncheck that. In this case, that button is not going to be there anymore. So again, as simple as that. The next thing is the email feature. Now, the email feature is something that happens whenever you open one of your emails, and I'm going to show you in a second how it works. But here, it just lets you turn it on or turn it off. If you uncheck that thing over here, first of all, it reloads all your pages. So I'm actually going to go reload my web page over here. And if I go back to my ClickUp, you can see that email option here that was here at the top previously is not here anymore. If I go back here and I click email feature turning on, it's going to reload my page one more time. This is what Chrome browser does, so it's normal behavior. And you're going to click on ClickUp one more time. You can see the email button is here appearing again. So again, I'm going to show you how it works in just a second after we complete the settings here. Now, the next thing is time tracking. Works absolutely the same way, just with a different part, which is over here, time tracking. So if you uncheck that button, is going to disappear from the Chrome extension. The Notepad, absolutely the same thing, just disabling this option over here, so you will not be able to take notes or use this specific functionality of the Chrome extension. So as simple as that as well. And then also editing screenshots by default. Now, this is the thing that I will show you in more detail as we're going to review the screenshots part of the Chrome extension. But essentially, as soon as you're taking this screenshot, ClickUp allows you to add different things to that screenshot, like, different frames or like highlight things. And if you uncheck this item, the screenshot is not just going to open in the edit kind of view or option, but it's going to just go as the screenshot and you can add it to a task. So yeah, I'm going to show you, it will make more sense as I show you an example here. All right, so now as we understand all the settings, let's dive into the first option for the Chrome extension and how we can use it. The first thing we have over here, and again, make sure that it's enabled inside your settings, is called a Notepad. Now, what Notepad is simply making it easier for you to take notes. Again, it's really personal preference if you'd like to use Notepad from here, or if you're using just your Notepad on your computer or notes on your Mac. Again, in this example, what it allows you to do is it allows you to connect those notes that you take inside the Chrome extension to your ClickUp account, which might not be as easy when you're using just your Notes tool on your computer that is not linked directly to ClickUp. So the way it works is I'm going to create a new note and I'm going to say, this is going to be, let's say, my new meeting on October 27, 2025. That opens up like some sort of a new task. So I would consider every new note that you're creating in here being a new task is just not yet converted into the task inside your ClickUp account. So what you can do, you can open that note. Let's say we're creating an agenda. So we're going to say tell thing number 1, share updates, and then let's say bye-bye. All right, so this is going to be the meeting agenda that we put together. Now, as you can see, I can have many notes created over here. Not all of them are tasks yet. If I want to create some of them as tasks in my ClickUp account, again, this is kind of the interim part between taking your notes and actually putting them into ClickUp. You can create on the plus button over here to convert this note into task. So if I'm gonna click this, convert this node into task over here. Again, you need to select the space and the location. Again, in this case, I'm using the ClickUp Chrome extension list just to show you how all of this works. So I'm gonna select that list. Again, be mindful where you're creating your tasks, otherwise you'll have to go into ClickUp and then search for them using the search function. It's not as hard, but again, sometimes annoying when it's created and you don't know where. Over here, you can see that you can update the name, which was essentially the node's name that we created, and it creates the description of the task as our agenda, as we put here. I can put the due date. Let's say I'm going to put it for tomorrow, and I'm going to assign it to myself. Now you can assign different people from your workspace over here, so it's not necessarily you, but maybe someone that has access to the location that you selected on the previous step over here. Now, as soon as I click on create a new task, you can see that our ClickUp account was updated. So here we have a ClickUp Chrome extension list, and we have new meeting, a task for October 27th, and the agenda we put together in Notes is now here. Now, again, it doesn't have any special to it, really. It's just a date and an assignee and then the description of the tasks that we added. But again, gives you this ability to kind of transform your notes. If you're getting used to putting all your notes inside that ClickUp Chrome extension, gives you more flexibility to then converting those into ClickUp tasks. So again, this is the number one part of the ClickUp Chrome extension. Let's move on to the second thing, which is going to be our email. All right, so now the email part of the Chrome extension. Now this you can see is as soon as you open the Chrome extension here, it will tell you that it links emails from Gmail. So this is what I'm going to show you in this video. Now you can also install an Outlook add-on. This is a separate add-on that you're going to need to connect again to your ClickUp, and it will let you synchronize or like add your tasks from your Outlook mailbox into your ClickUp account. In this case with Chrome, it just works much easier, and with Gmail in this example. So let me show you how to do it, and the steps are going to be very, very similar for the Outlook add-on as well. So in order to do this, you can see there are no buttons over here. You can turn this off if you'd like, but the main thing and the way it works is when you go to one of your email threads inside the Gmail account. So for example, this is going to be one of the email threads that I'm going to be using for testing. I'm going to close this thing over here, and you can see that as soon as you download this Chrome extension, there will be an additional button over here under the email recipient that's going to say add to ClickUp. So this is exactly what that email functionality is for. Now, if you switch that off, if you switch email feature off, that button is going to disappear. So again, if you don't see it, make sure to go into the settings and turn that on. But now, as soon as I click that button, it should open my Chrome extension here. You will see that it's attaching my email thread to the task. So essentially, I can either create a new task or I can attach it to an existing task, which sometimes might be useful when you're working on the client's project. You already have a task, and now there is a conversation related to that specific task or that specific project, and you don't want to create a new task but attach it to the existing one. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to attach it to the existing one just to show you how that works, just because we created a new task for the previous note functionality. So over here, I'm going to say the new meeting October 27th, the one that we just created. I'm going to click on that, attach it to a task. Then I'm going to go back to my task over here, refresh the page. All right, now we have this task over here. You can see that previously we had only description, the name, the due date, and the assignee. If we scroll down now, we're going to see that in details in this task, we have an attachment, and this attachment is initial form from Ilya, and it shows the full thread, email thread that we had in that example. example. So again, all the emails that I added from my Gmail from over here are now going to be available under this task as an attachment. Now, it adds the full email conversation as an attachment. You can still see it, right? This is not a screenshot, so just be mindful of that whenever you want to send this to someone else so they can review it, making sure that they can actually review this HTML file. But this way you can easily keep track of all the emails that you have in your inbox and easily link them to the related tasks inside your ClickUp. Again, no matter what those tasks are tracking, if that email thread is related to that ClickUp task or you want to create a new one, you can easily do this with this ClickUp Chrome extension functionality. Right, and moving on to the next one. The next one is the screenshot. I used to use a lot the regular Mac screenshots, right, where you just put like Command Shift Control 4, it takes the screenshot. With this screenshot, it makes it even better. So let me show you how to use it. When you click on the screenshot over here, again, if you don't see that option, make sure you turn it on in the settings, something that I'm gonna remind you every single minute in this video. But over here, it says the edit screenshots by, oh, actually it doesn't have, my apologies, it doesn't have the turn off feature, but this is where we're going to be reviewing this thing of editing screenshots by default. So if you go over here, you can take the screenshots of your entire screen, or you can select an area on your screen. So let me show you how that works. I'm going to go to my ClickUp account, and let's say I'm going to take a screenshot of my entire screen, took a screenshot. Now you can see that it opened an edit window for us to edit the screenshot. This is exactly the setting that we turn on over here. So edit screenshot by default. This is why I put that editing window. So if I click it one more time, I can edit it. You know, I can put some highlights over here, I can change things, I can add some text, whatever needs to be done. As soon as I click on done, it's gonna put this screenshot like this, and I can do a couple of things. I can attach it to a task over here. I can still edit it, or I can even download to my computer so that I can then attach it to anything I want. Sometimes what I do is I right click on this image and I click on copy image, and then I just Command V, I paste it wherever I want. So again, it pastes with all the edits that you added in here, but you can also attach it to the task. And there is something else that ClickUp Chrome extension does. So as you go to your ClickUp task and you open your ClickUp task, over here at the bottom, you will see a button that says attach screenshot from extension. Now, when you click that, you'll be able to attach that screenshot over here. Honestly, right now it's not working and might not be working for you. So again, this is why I'm using this thing of just copy pasting. I would just do copy image, just paste it in here. Again, it becomes much easier and much more streamlined for me personally. But again, you can try to use this feature if it's not working. Again, sometimes Chrome extensions have their own box, so this is probably one of them. But if we wanted to attach this task from the Chrome extension directly, we could click just on this button, attach to existing task, and then find one of our tasks. So let's say we want to attach to our existing task over here, attach to a task, and it should populate this screenshot over here. So you can see now we have this image PNG over here, and also the screenshot with the date attached over here. Now this is the same screenshot that we just added ourselves, so it's not any different. The only difference is the name that you can see over here. Now let's go back to our Chrome extension here. You can also select the area. It's not really different. You can just select part of the screen that you want to take, and you can add that screenshot, and then you can again attach it to a task, or you can even create a new task with that new screenshot that you just took. So again, it's simple as that, and this is how the screenshot part of the Chrome extension works. So let's move on to the track time, which is probably one of the most exciting parts of the Chrome extension. The reason why is because you can track easily time without actually switching back to your ClickUp tasks and turning on and off that time tracker. So if you want to track your time, you need to choose a task to start your tracking time for. So I cannot just, click on track time without actually selecting the task. So I need to go here. Again, it will ask you to select the location. So make sure you're using the right workspace, the right space, and then you're looking at the right list where your tasks are located. I'm going to use the same new meeting task. Let's say meeting just started and I want to track time there. So I'm going to start tracking time. Well, when you close that Chrome extension, first of all, what happens if you switch to a different tab? Let's say I go back to my Gmail. Over here, you can see that at the top right corner, it shows you how many minutes you've tracked, right? So if you open that thing and you click on that, it's going to show you again the current time tracking. Now what it also does is when you go back to your ClickUp account, it automatically turns on the tracker over here. So whether you're turning it on from here or here, again, it's going to show you in the Chrome extension, and then you can switch it on in both places as well. And if we actually open this task over here, you can see the time tracker launched over here, so we can see the time recorded in this task. Now there is not much you can do except of actually tracking time inside your Chrome extension. If you want to add it to your time entry nodes or something else, you will have to go directly to the task for which you're tracking your time, click on the track time item, and then add your nodes, tags, or maybe adjust if it's billable or non-billable time. So again, those things are not in the Chrome extension. It's a little bit for more like simpler time tracking. You just turn it on, turn it off, and then if you want to add something, you go directly into ClickUp and do it from here. Now, this is pretty much it about the time tracking inside the Chrome extension for ClickUp. The next thing, and one of the last things, is the bookmark. Now, what Bookmark does is a very simple thing. To be honest, I'm not using it, and I'm not sure what's the initial idea of this was, but what it does is just basically links the website that you are on right now using this Chrome extension to your ClickUp task. So if I were to go and open, let's say, my website over here. So if I wanted to bookmark my website over here in this landing page, what I would do, I would open this landing page, I would click on bookmark, and then over here, I would add some description. Let's say this is my website, and then the name of the task is gonna say the actual name of the website, and then the link or the URL of the website, and you can click on save the bookmark. Now let me show you what it does. It basically creates a new task inside the location that you specified over here, and you can see that it added the link to the task. It adds the screenshot of the website. So you can see that screenshot, just the screen when you actually created that bookmark. It doesn't take the screenshot of the whole website, which might be actually a cool idea, but it just adds this bookmark to your list. Again, it's not the most useful functionality. Honestly, I've never used it, and I'm not sure what's the use case for this might be, but you might find it helpful if you want to save some links to your existing list, or maybe some project-related websites to your ClickUp. If you're using ClickUp as a knowledge base, or maybe you're storing all the websites related to the project, that might be a good use case here. Now let's go back here. So this is everything about the bookmarking, and whenever creating the task, you can do the same thing we did together with you, selecting the due date and also specifying the assignee over here. You can also uncheck the include screenshot. We'll just not include that screenshot when creating the task. Simple as that. Perfect. And then the last thing is going to be creating a new task now, which is probably one of the most simplest and one of the most powerful things. Wherever you are on your browser, maybe you are searching, I don't know, some websites, maybe you're researching something for the project, and something came up, some idea came up, and you want to create that task. Now you can easily do this from the Chrome extension by clicking new task over here, creating the task and saying the new task for Ilya, let's say. I'm going to assign the due date, and let's say I need to do this tomorrow, and I'm also need to assign this to myself, and you can add the description in here. Now, as soon as you create the task, it works the same way as we did together with you multiple times in these videos. Creates a new task in here, adds the assignees, assigns the due date, and you can just work on this task now inside your ClickUp account. The benefit of this really is just having that quick access to creating that task rather than switching to your ClickUp account, unless you always have your ClickUp account open or your tab with ClickUp open. Again, this might be quite nice and powerful thing for you not to switch between tabs. Now, also something important to mention, whenever you're going to a website, so let's switch back to my Gmail that we tested together with you. If you remember, I mentioned about this button over here for ClickUp, but it gives you a couple of actions. Now, these actions over here are basically the same actions that you saw in that ClickUp Chrome extension and that we just covered. Just gives you more like a quick access to those features, so you can quickly create tasks from here. So that might be pretty interesting. You might also want to start tracking time. Again, that's the same thing. When you're clicking on tracking time from here, what it does is it starts tracking time for the task for which you track time the latest. So if I track time, so I'm going to go back here. If I track time for my task, which is YW2, which is ID of that task, it's called new meeting October 27th. And if I click on track time from this quick actions, it's going to start tracking time for that specific task. So when you want to switch that, you can go back to your ClickUp Chrome extension and change that to a different task. And then obviously you have the screenshot that we just did together, and also the bookmark and the notepad over here. So again, these are more for quick actions for you. And again, the same functionality is going to apply if you open the Chrome extension from here. This was everything I know about Chrome extension, and again, sharing a couple of things of how I use it personally. You might not find all the functionalities that we covered in this video useful, but at least you can pick a couple of ideas of how you can improve the way you're using ClickUp. Again, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one very, very soon.